Louie C. the Mayor checking in. What is going on, my people? Listen, all good. We getting ready to kick off the weekend. If y'all could do me a favor, there's a little share button right here on the Facebook. Boop! Hit that button. Notifications on right now. Boop! YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel right over here in this box. Boy, we got a big show coming up right now. So make sure you tell everybody Louie C. the Mayor and Ricky Jr. are in the building. We're about to go all the way in. Shout out to Florida Keys Injury Lawyers, accident lawyers in the Keys. If you have an accident in a car, moped, bicycle, God forbid, on that ocean, all you got to do is go to FloridaKeysInjury.com at 302 Southern Street. Dr. B, boy, a lot of stuff going on, man. They killing my phone battery with this vaccine. This vaccine's going to come. Where can I get a vaccine? I said, I don't have the information, but tomorrow when we go on medical business, we're going to talk about that. And, you know, some people getting the vaccine, some people not. But right now, I guess the issue is there's a little shortage of vaccine in Monroe County, but we'll get it. Advanced Urgent Care Key West Marathon in Key Largo. If you feel sick, all you got to do is go on that ivermectin protocol right away. And if you want affordable health care, 2Ks, keyscares.com, only $89. Naughty Vapes, the #1 vape shop in Key West, right across the street from the fire department. Huge inventory, came in, logos of military, 10%. Make sure you like them on Facebook on the Naughty Vapes, N-A-U-T-I Vapes on Facebook. Who is Michael Knowles? Mike Knowles, you've been going strong all day today, boy. You still got to go all the way to 9 o'clock in the morning. You ain't playing. So I'd like to welcome to the show one of my favorite people in Stock Island, doing it real big, Ricky Arnold Jr. There's a song called We Started From the Bottom, and now we're here. They started from the bottom, built the whole empire on towing. And, you know, towing business is a tough business. I mean, you don't come with good news. It's bad news all day, every day. So, you know, people are going to get upset. So, Mr. Ricky, welcome to the show. How you doing, sir? How's your day going?
It's going pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Okay. So, some people, you know, we're going to go worldwide today. So, some people have no idea who you are. So, just give them a little brief introduction about yourself and what you're all about, if you don't mind.
Ricky Arnold, Arnold's Towing. We 5 generations here. Just good to get out on the air, and I'm sure there's people out there I haven't seen in a long time. Maybe they get to see you.
Okay.
Good to see you all out there.
Nice.
But no, just living the dream down here in Key West.
Gotcha. And did you graduate from Key West High School?
Yep, class of 93.
1993. So what's that #1 Key West High School class tonight? Come in on the live right now and let me know what's popping. Mike Knowles, let me get Mr. Ricky's phone on the other side so I can get him good. And stand by, Michael Knowles. We're going to check in with some people and see what's really going on. All love today on the show. It's a big show going on, Mr. Ricky. If you put me back there on the Facebook, we'll be all good. Scott Young, hey, from Jacksonville, looking good, Ricky. Thank you for checking in. All love right now. So Mike Knowles, who you got on there? Let's make it happen.
Okay, I got Pamela Hershey and let me see. Gilbert Suarez.
Okay.
All right. Ricky was fine. Okay, you got that one. Yeah, I got Pamela Hershey and Gilbert Suarez, and I got Martha Marshall. Say Ricky. Yeah, you got that one. Christopher Valdez is watching.
Vice Principal Valdez, boy, that's one of the top administrators in the world.
Shauna Thompson Ashford, say RJ in the house.
Okay, Shauna, that's a hell of a girl.
Yeah, and Scott, you got Scott Young?
Yeah, I got Scott on there.
And that's it for right now. Let me
we can go back here. I gotta go back real quick on that.
Go back to what?
I just want to go.
I don't do all my
I got you. I'll take care of it.
Oh, man.
All right, so listen, so Ricky, let's go ahead and kick it off. Please share the show tonight right now on the podcast. Hit this button right over here. Boop! So how is life in good old Stock Island? How's everything going out there? Because I know you be on Stock Island daily.
Well, Stock Island's booming right now. A lot of building going up. Traffic's getting heavy, so we got a lot of Northerners coming in, renting, and so it looks like the pandemic isn't really affecting us too bad down here. At least on Stock Island.
Thank God.
We still keeping the lights on, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, Stock Island, you know, we was in the future. Now we're in the moment. Told you all a long time ago, buy everything you can in Stock Island. So the next move is Marathon, Florida. Shout out to everybody watching in Marathon, all love right now. So I understand you was on a reality TV show. How was that experience and which show was that?
Well, we did Shipwreck Men. I think tonight was the night that it aired 8 years ago. So
really?
It's been 8 years to tonight that it aired first.
Okay, we had to be on the podcast.
So.
All right, so Ricky, I got you squared away, so I'm just turn your volume down here, I believe.
All right.
And then your watch party is going to begin, and you'll see some people coming in there shortly. You know, every day they throw a new phone at me, Mike, but I keep making it happen. So what's the name of the show again?
The name of the show was Shipwreck Men.
Okay, and how did that come about? Did you just get a cold call? How did that happen?
Yeah, somehow or another we got a phone call from a guy, and he was up in Homestead filming some other guys, and somehow our name kept coming up, so he just decided to call us.
Right.
And seeing we had one of our boats my dad had made, and it looked all junky and had a boom. It was just all different colors, and my dad loved it. And I guess it just gave enough character. They decided to put us on the show. And
gotcha. How long did you do the show for?
I think it was about 4 or 5 months we filmed.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people not in the entertainment business, they put shows on and they have to have it entertain people. So sometimes they're overly scripted on stuff, and people get a little bit perturbed because they want to, keep it real. They put one on me, we won't have the script none. It'll just be exactly what you get. So was that a challenge because they wanted to do stuff that you probably wasn't comfortable with, and you wanted to keep it, original? How did that go? Because the producers are sometimes tough on the people, and it's hard to get a midway point.
That's about really what it was. We had they kept wanting us to escalate stuff, like they had some other teams from Homestead, so they kept wanting us to attack them. Well, we'd never met them.
Right.
And I felt like we had enough drama with just us fighting on the boat. And when I have a reputation on our work boat that I don't have a whole lot of patience. When once stuff done, I want it right now. And you'll see some of that, on some of the episodes, but it actually ended up working to our advantage in the long run as a spinoff.
Nice.
And then kind of fell apart. But we met a lot of guys in the industry, and I ended up putting together another show.
Right. And we're going to talk about that here shortly. So see, what happens is when you get this entertainment contracts and you get into some type of deal, it's very important to make sure you keep your creative control of what's going on, because it's like artists, they got one style of singing, and then they say, oh, we're going to make you platinum and change your style, then you kind of lose your way. So I'm glad that you basically stood your ground and said, I could do some things, but some stuff I'm just not going to do, and that was the end of that. So that's awesome, because a lot of people, will just go with the flow, and next thing you know, they're completely different than where they came from or whatever. So it's good, but you got good exposure, and that's good for the business. And you can't go wrong for advertising on TV nationwide. It just can't go wrong.
And that was the thing. We just didn't want to represent Key West or people in Key West as a bunch of people that were just talking trash about other people, and we wanted to show what work we did and the quality of it, and the stresses behind it. But we didn't want to. We were just trying to be careful not to misrepresent the island.
You wanted to keep it comp real,
and to do what they wanted, we felt would have, just jeopardized that. And so in that case, it probably cost us the chance of the show to go on.
Right. It happens. So we got some people coming in. Mike Knowles, stand by. You got some people over here. So we're going to go through these people here. Well, you got a lot of love here. It's a lot of love coming in. So I'm going to start over here on my side. Shauna says, love and miss you. Gave me my first perm in the early 90s. I don't know, what that means. She says first perm. She abbreviated that. So all love, Shauna. You got all love down here. You need to come down and visit. We lived watching the show, and my son loved Big Ricky. Oh, that's awesome, Nikki. All love there. True OGs. That's for Chris. He says, okay. So this is internal stuff. Okay, all love. What you got on your side there? If you want to read some of the stuff you got over there.
Martha Marshall. Hey, good to see you. Nikki, we already went over through some of these. I think I got the same, pretty much the same.
You got.
Or I'm spinning through them faster than.
Yeah, you just take your time. You got James. Can you see that? Can you read that part there? James Romero.
Nothing but the blue truck.
Yeah, read it out loud so people could hear it there.
Nothing but the blue truck. Yeah, we had a good time in the old big blue truck back there in school. I had a big jacked up truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and well, we about destroyed it out in the woods where off Junior College Road where the fire department is.
Nice. So he said, nothing but blue trucks and green truck. What's good? One human family. James comes on the show every day. Shauna says it was an amazing show. Nikki, we got her. Let me see what else we got. Yeah, we got Shauna. So make sure we got, okay. All right, Mike Knowles, it's your time. Mike, who you got on there?
Shauna Thompson said the true OGs. Then we got, let's see, we got there Jose Humberto Nera.
Metro Day. Jose, can you please, for God's sake, just leave that stuff with the politics 101. Leave that off Facebook. Let's move on and talk about some other stuff, man. That's too much time, man. Y'all spending on that. Let's move on from that. I'll be glad when it's the 21st, boy. We can keep it moving. Go ahead, man.
We got Red Tater.
Red Tater.
We got Martina Lake.
Okay.
We got Arrow Slaver, boy, that's a heck of a name, man, boy.
Gotcha.
We got Michael Kimbler.
Michael Kimbler, he holds the record for coaches shorts. He wore the most coaches shorts in a row, like Pete Rose on the streak every day of his high school career as a junior and senior. Even when it was 40 degrees, he put the coaches shorts over the sweatpants. But that's class.
We got Eric Logan.
Hey, Eric, how you doing?
And then we got Scott H. Young just popped in and said you would have been a great firefighter, brother.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Oh, love. There's nothing but love. So what a lot of people don't know is they see you out there doing your business. You're a business person, obviously, and you're the tow company with the Arnold's Towing. And, you know, you got a living legend. In my opinion, living legends need to be honored where they live in. Big Ricky, that's a character. Well, that's a worldwide character. But a lot of people don't know you have an interest in entertainment and putting stuff together. So I understand that you actually put the whole narrative for the Netflix series Bloodline together and kind of wrote that whole show from top to bottom, even though they didn't give you credit for it and it wasn't properly taken care of. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. I created the show and put a whole script together. Worked with one of the guys that put together the Shipwreck Men show we watched.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I got that connection. I come up with the idea, and it started out as the name of Rum Runners, and that was my original script that I have. And it was I wanted to do a whole show on how they used to run. The Rum Runners used to run back and forth and smuggle back and forth to the islands, and be creative and use all kind of stuff like that. So what happened is I got with the producer from my original show with Shipwreck Men, and we built the whole thing. We come down, spent 6-figure shoots on everything, and
really,
it was big deals. And one of the guys from Mike Mathis Production bought it from me, and he bought enough of the rights to control the show.
So he bought like majority ownership.
Yeah, and so he had enough to manipulate the show, and said he had someone that was going to buy it. He just it was. Yeah. I was still green in it, so he told me I'm what you need to be able to take this to the next level.
Right.
So I'm going to front this money. We did a $150,000 shoot.
Really? Wow.
And he did some stuff. He changed the show in ways that I didn't really like.
Right.
So when he put it all together and presented it to Netflix, Netflix kicked it out for the way it was and said, we're just going to use our own crew and we're just going to change the name and just dump everything of mine. But it gave them what they needed to put together. They had my whole script of how to do everything, how to bring the
visuals.
To bring the creativity to the Keys.
Right.
They had my original script because I was going back to the Big Pine 29.
Right.
I was bringing in all of the knowledge of growing up here. Right. And how they used to run drugs and switch that into running rum.
Right.
So, and bring all them characters in, how people that shouldn't have been involved in it were involved, and how it was just coming through our doors, and how people made a living off of it. Some made an honest living off of it.
Right.
and the goods and the bads off of it. So they had everything they needed to do it all right here in the Keys because I had already put it in black and white.
Right.
So they just dumped us, kept everything that I had, and changed the name.
Gotcha.
So I'm the actual creator of Bloodline.
And were they able to, when they did that, did they buy the rights to that, or they didn't have to?
They didn't have to. All they had to do was change the name. Because I had the rights to the name Rum Runners with this script. Gotcha. So as soon as they went from Rum Runners to Bloodline, I was done.
Well, technically, you probably could have sued, but that would have been a whole different thing because they kind of stole the idea. And this is what happens. This entertainment, boxing, it's really bad. You got to have I's and T's. Well, if I would have knew you back then, we wouldn't have had this problem because the only way that this is done is through the right proper entertainment lawyer that knows this stuff top to bottom.
No, I had a great lawyer. I had Flo Rider's attorney in Miami. That was my attorney. Yeah. And they just
what did he say when this happened?
Well, this is how they played the game. Is what they did is they would come in and we were supposed to sign a contract for me to tie it up, and it could have been Bloodline, would never have been Bloodline. It would have stayed Rum Runners. So what they did is they said, "Oh, we're going to sign this day." So that day came and passed, like, oh, and what? All of a sudden they called and they said, "Look, we got 2 hours to get this contract signed if you want this to go to the next level."
That's what they do.
Well, I'm like, so I called my attorney and said, "Hey, what do we do here?" He says, "Ricky, you can either sign it and lose the show." He says, "Sometimes you got to take a gamble, but it's a 50-50 shot. If they're honest with you, you're going to have it. If they're not, they're going to change the name. It's simply that simple, and you lose it all."
So he told you, what are your choices?
Yep. And
see, right off the bat, if me and you were talking and you asked me that without even thinking about it, I always learn when people tell you to sign something, it has to be signed. It's like 3 red flags. I don't do it. If it's I don't do it. If you go, I have to get this looked at, and when I get it looked at for my people, I sign. I understand if you got to go a different way. I'm just not going to do it. I learned that from experience, especially dealing with entertainment and boxing. Even they think entertainment, boxing business. That's why it's the mob and created by Al Capone. Like for example, I could have you as a fighter. I'm a promoter, and I did a deal with, let's say, Miachael Knowles, and he paid me $7 million. I could come to you and say, "Do you want to box so and so for $1 million?" And you say yes. I don't have to disclose that I made $6 million. It's in the bylaws. I said, no wonder these people always fight against each other. So I thought the entertainment stuff was bad with record labels on, but this goddamn boxing. So I can see where Don King and all the people fit in. This is incredibly crooked or whatever. You really got to be on top of the game. I mean, it's legal to have that just like that. You don't have to disclose nothing. If you said yes, I perfectly didn't do anything legal. So some people don't know any better, and they just take $1 million. They think it's great. They could have had $5 more million. They just don't know.
So well, the hard thing was we had just done a $150,000 shoot.
Right.
So it was hard for me to say I'm not going to sign this contract so we can go to the next level because I just watched him spend piles of money with film crews and trucks and lights and so it was just one of those things.
Yeah, it happened, and you know what? You learn from experience. There's so much rich history, and it's just a matter of getting the right team. Now you kind of know exactly what you're dealing with. So obviously we do things. Business people that are deep in the game, they're going to look at one stuff and something happened, they're going to try to fix it for the next one. So, but just that you got it to that level is great. But they could have shows, they can't take the character of what you know and what we know with the concrete public. They'll never be able to duplicate that identity for 100%. Never. They could kind of make it look, but they could never get it from true comp. So we'll live to fight another day. Shout out to Nick Saban, Alabama, doing it big in the championship. That boy Nick Saban don't play around. I wish he could have done the same thing for the Dolphins, but it just wasn't in the cards. Who is Michael Knowles? What you got over there, Mike?
Okay, I got Jack Bernhardt.
Jack Byrne, boy, that's a character right there. Big Jack, my man. 1986.
We got Denise Herbig Lorenz.
Okay.
We got Stephanie Klein's.
Gotcha.
We got Stacey L. Hernandez.
Gotcha.
Aaron Skinner.
Hey, Aaron, just talk about the boxing. Aaron knows the boxing, but he's a matchmaker. He know how this thing goes.
Yep. And Jennifer Shapiro, and that's it.
Okay. All right. So, Mike knows, let me get Mr. Ricky's monitor, and then we're going to do a little watch party. Got a lot of people checking in. So, let me see what else we got. So, like we talked about in the show, towing cars, all bad news across the board. 100% bad news across the board. People get angry, upset. So, have you ever had a physical altercation out there in the streets with towing somebody's cars, and what stories come to mind? If you could just tell us a little bit about that, that'll be great.
I got piles of stories. I guess I gotta put. I had one time. I had a guy. I went to repossess his car.
Repo. Okay.
He come running out with a gun.
Ooh.
They had told me that he was a violent person and had shot at the last people that tried to repo the car.
Wow.
I was a teenager and my balls were big as trucks, and
right.
I got them reduced a little bit that day.
Right.
I didn't quite expect that, so his car went bouncing off the back of my truck as I was hitting the speed bumps, and he's got to keep his car, but it was all messed up.
Right.
Probably if I had to say the most dangerous one, I thought a story for towing I had was I had a Fantasy Fest night, and I was on this side of the parade route. I was at the post office, and they wanted me to tow a motorhome away.
Whitehead?
It was where you come into the post office on Whitehead.
Yeah, I got
So I was on downtown side of Whitehead, and there was the older style. It was my bigger truck, so I had to get out to hook up. It's not like my trucks now where I don't have to.
Right.
So I had got out and hooked the truck up really quick and didn't think nothing of it. Got back in the truck and hit the switch to raise it up, and when I did, I felt the truck move. When I did, I looked in the mirror. I still had, because it was a motorhome, I still had to go back underneath of the truck and put it in neutral before I could pull out.
Right.
And before I blinked, I had 5 guys trying to rip my doors off to get me out of the truck.
Wow.
They were just out of their mind.
Wow, that's scary.
So while I had 3 guys on this side and 2 or 3 guys on this side, yanking, the whole truck's rocking, they're trying to punch the windows out. Finally, I'm on the phone with the sheriff's office, city police. Hey, I need some help over here.
Right.
They tell me we don't have no help. They're all on the parade route. You're on your own for the next 15 minutes.
That's crazy.
Nothing on them. I mean, they just had a full. Everybody was out working, and they just didn't have enough people.
Right.
And so I actually finally thought, because he's sitting there screaming, "We're gonna kill you!" And I could tell they were just really drunk, high. They just were on another planet.
Yes, very dangerous.
So I actually pulled my gun, put it in my hand. They started laughing and beating the windows harder. I literally had to put a round in the chamber, put it to the glass, and said, "I'm gonna shoot you through the glass," to get him to step off the truck while the other side was still trying to bang into my window. I had to get out the truck with the gun on him to unhook the truck just so I could get away.
Wow.
It was real bad.
Wow.
Very.
Well, you might have ended up having to shoot somebody, kill them just like that. It could happen. So I mean, and this is in Key West. So we're supposed to be nice and calm and cool. I'll be damned. But imagine what happens in them big cities out there. I mean, people could die just going on the call. So it's very serious. So wow. So that was on a Fantasy Fest night. So you never forget that one.
That was a night that I actually. It's one thing people say, "Oh, I'll shoot you, I'll do this. Hey, I got balls of steel." But when you actually have to mentally say, "I'm going to have to shoot this guy. I'm literally going to have to put a round through his forehead because it's him or me," and to accept that,
that's crazy.
It actually it changes you a little bit. It makes you realize what it takes to pull a trigger.
Absolutely. You got a gun. You gotta not be afraid to use it because, like you said, it's life or death. So you have some people coming in. So what you want to do is, this is your watch party. So what you want to do is just mention those names one by one so we can acknowledge these people. And start
Aaron
from
Skinner, Ryan Rodriguez. Who got? My eyes are going bad. Julio Gomez, Michelle, Christina Pumar.
That's Carrie, look, we got coming.
Good to see y'all. Thanks for the shout out there.
If you need those, we could always use those. So sometimes, depending on my eyes, check I can't see nothing without my contacts. So look, Richie Latour says, RJ, checking in. Mike Knowles, is your time.
Okay, Sean Holt and Orion Thurston.
OT in Minnesota. OT, what's the temperature up there? Because I know it ain't like Key West. So now that we're talking crazy stories out there, life and death. That ocean is nothing to play with. Before we get into this, I need y'all to hit the share button right here on this corner. Boop! Share this video, notification right over here. Boop! And on the YouTube, the subscribe button right over here. Boop! So what's the craziest thing you ever experienced out there in that good old big ocean out there that we got in good old Florida Keys?
I gotta think about that. What, good or bad?
Whatever memorable story that you could think of when you went out there on the tow, something interesting happened.
If I had to put in what was the craziest, it wouldn't be so much the craziest. It'd be the most exciting job that I ever had. We had to go probably about 80 miles west, 70, 80 miles west of Key West. We had a 42-foot Torres go down.
Okay.
And out in the Rebecca Channel, and it was sitting at 82 feet of water.
Right.
On a hump. The exhaust line had come off and the boat sunk. And the boys that were pulling it from the R&J, Machete and all them, they were pulling with the rope. When they cut the rope, they dropped it and the boat set perfectly on a little hump. If it had gone 10 feet more in any direction, it'd have been lost forever because we couldn't have got it. Just dropped down to 130.
Right.
We wouldn't have been able to set lines or nothing. And but we got that boat up, and it took us about 20 hours.
Wow.
And
big job.
It was a big job. It was just in the middle of nowhere. It was just horrible weather.
How many people do you guys have under the company that work for you?
It fluctuates.
Right.
Like when I have jobs like that, I'll go. I don't try and get greedy because when you're out there on the ocean, there is no help.
Right.
So we usually work with some of the boys with Towboat US and some of the guys from War Horse. They're all out there at Robbie's Marine, and depending on the job, I'll hire their guys to come help, and that way we can switch divers because of the depth. And the bigger the jobs, the more guys I hire. That way we can rotate them out with tanks.
Gotcha. And also, I actually had a commissioner ask me a question one time, and I talked to Doris about this, and this is all good. So what happens is she asked me, said, "Hey, I got somebody complaining about this with Arnold." So I said, just call this person, but I guarantee you these guys are above board. They've been here for 100 some years or whatever, so it's hard to make people happy, when they're towing cars. So sometimes, there's information that's factual, and then there's information that goes on social media. Just because it's on social media, somebody said something that this happened, don't mean they know all the facts or whatever. So I know you guys run a tight ship, and you employ a lot of people, and you're patriarch down there in Stock Island. So I want to thank you for running a good business, and at the end of the day, it's real simple. If you park in the wrong place, you possibly get your car towed. It's that simple. I don't know what else to tell you.
I don't think people realize the position that we're in our job. I'm caught between people that want the car removed, and you might only be there 5 minutes. That might be in between the 3 minutes that one of my drivers shows up.
Right. But
we all got to live together. And I'm not out there just trying to be an asshole to nobody, but I got a job to do.
Right.
And if I don't tow that car, we don't get paid.
Right.
Yep. And it's constantly got me in a bad position because we're on a small island, and I want to be friends with everybody, and I want to be able to go to the bars and have a beer with everybody, even if I did tow your car. It's not personal, but this is just
at the end of the day, the man got to run a business.
Yep.
And also, like Mike Knowles, remember that one time I think you had you called one of the insurance companies because you had a problem with your car, and the nice man came in from the tow company, and he basically could have towed the car, but he knew what the problem was. He went underneath the hood, underneath the car, and he just put something together and said, you could ride like this to get it together. So this is above and beyond customer service. He could easily done the tow, but over here it's different. We're not in Miami. This is not Broward County. We have to work together. Everything ain't going to be peaches and cream, but as long as you respect people, then we could have a conversation. Now once you get out of line, then we come from the streets too or whatever. We're gonna deal with what we need to deal with. So that was very nice of them. So like you said, you hit on it. People got their job to do, and especially if you're in a position of running a business, everything can't be peaches and cream all the time. Feelings gonna get hurt sometimes or whatever, and some people just take it a certain type of way. But at the end of the day, these problems that we're talking about are great problems to have because 300,000 people didn't make it last year or whatever. So we're here having a podcast, so we're very happy about that. Who is Miachael Knowles?
Okay, we got Red Tater there. He got a couple questions there. He said, "Glad you didn't have to pull that trigger. It would have changed you forever."
And I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Good point, Tater.
And got William Fratelli. He said, "Louie, good evening."
Good evening, sir.
Red Tater again. He says the app that runs the parking lot on Caroline behind the bull is terrible. Do you tow many vehicles out of
Yeah,
there?
is that something that,
Yeah.
what is going on? Can you just clarify this? Because
That lot was taken over. It's been somewhere around 8 or 9 months. It was taken over by another company out of Miami.
okay,
And they just run it all off. Like if you park, only way I know how to tell you is like if you're gonna go into the Miracle Mile, you go into your phone and you pay to park on your phone.
okay.
That's how that whole lot is run. There is nobody.
So this is where okay.
So when my drivers go in there, they pull that up on the phone and they can see every car that's registered, license tag, make, model, everything. So when they're riding through, they're looking, and if your car isn't on there, they just pull the car.
Gotcha. Okay, so let me. So this will answer a lot of questions with this because, like I said, you have fiction and then you have facts. So in the tow business, there's certain lots that sometimes you guys, the owners want you to come through there periodically. Is that what you do at that lot or not?
Yeah, they want us to continually roam. Like that particular lot is a roam lot. 24 hours a day, they want us through that lot and checking on who's parked and who's paid.
Okay.
Because what happens is once we start towing people, they start paying. When these people are paying to lease these lots to be able to collect money on the cars that pay to park.
Right.
So we're kind of that middle guy again. And
Ricky Jr. is being nice. Bottom line is the man has a contract that if he don't fulfill the contract and he never goes on that lot and patrols that lot, he loses the contract. And if he loses it, another tow company will get it. It's that simple.
Right.
I think what the problem is nothing to do with him. I think the problem is that people are confused there exactly how you pay. Back when I grew up, you went in that lot, there was a person in the front, you pay, you get a ticket, and you're done with. Now we're in 2021, a whole different ballgame. So now when you go in that lot, how do you pay? So with people, locals might not even notice.
There's the signs right there. There's a bunch of signs. You just read the sign. It'll tell you how to go on the app.
Okay.
How to register it. There's signs all in the lot to tell you what number that lot is.
Okay.
And so a lot of the problems that we've had with it is that app is set up where you might go in there and pay for your car, but you don't live here. Say you live in New Jersey.
Right.
So when you go in there and you'll type in, this is my car and everything, and you hit the button, it'll default to New Jersey. So when we come in, we don't see it on here because you didn't pay attention. You just hit, I'm going to pay this parking lot. Well, it defaulted to that number of a parking lot in another state.
Right.
And
they don't know that. Then they caught in the middle.
They want to hurry up. They want to start drinking. They're not paying attention. Like, I know I paid to park. Here it is. And we're like, oh, that's showing another state. You didn't. So in that, we usually buffer that and work with people as long as they're not calling us everything in the book, and we try and work with them.
Like for example, me, I mediate a lot of stuff that's real simple. I tell my people, listen, there's a lot here. I appreciate this is a sophisticated system. Obviously, it's causing a whole bunch of hardship for the company. So we need to figure out how this don't happen because you're not going to be the one over there when them people get them cars or whatever, and they're very upset because they did pay or whatever, so they take it out on him. So it's got to be a better way to do that. And like I said, if we don't talk about this stuff, this happens. So and I think that's what the commissioner was at. I said, I have no idea. I called Doors. I guarantee you, whatever it is, they got an explanation for that. Was the end of the conversation. Yes, sir.
Well, Ricky, would that be similar to like the ones that you got that pay for parking with the city tag thing? Because they don't got nobody manning there.
Pay by tag.
Yeah, you got to get that. If you don't get that tag in there, then they roll through there, then that's your behind too.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
The problem is they've had a lot of they get these guys that they pay a minimum wage to sit there and collect cash all day. So the guys are pocketing all the money. So the people that are renting the lots from the owners for people to park aren't making the money. The guy that's sitting there for minimum wage is making all the money.
Right.
So they've gone to this system where what they want us to do is they want us to come and make sure that everything is legit. And if it's not and someone's pocketing the money, They're not now because now it's all in the app, or you get towed.
Yeah, Red Tater keeping their blood raw. He says this app that runs the parking lot on Caroline behind the bull is terrible.
Yeah, really.
Do you tow many vehicles from there? So that's why we got this man don't make the app. I think eventually they'll fix that problem. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't park there unless I'm exactly sure. If I know how to use that app, like my TV, if I don't know how to use it, I would. There's plenty of places you could park. You don't have to be there, but I understand the challenge because other people come in from out of town. Do you have a lot of problems with locals there in that lot?
The problems usually come from people out of town more than local because, like I said, they'll hit the wrong state.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
if y'all want to park for free or deal with it, park on the city street. They're not going to tow you.
Exactly.
They will not tow you. They'll write you a $35 ticket. They're not going to tow your car.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's where I park. I don't pay in the parking lots. I just park on the street illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but you
park
get the
over
chance
there.
to
I'm
get the
doing it
ticket,
right
yeah.
now.
I park over there at the at the courthouse. But like I said, you know, just do the best you can. So thank you for clearing that up. Rick, you got several people coming in, so you could, where you left off, just go through them names.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep it moving. And Mike Knowles, stand by.
All right.
Lisa came in there. Jason. What's up, Jason? Fallon Machado. Tiffany. My mom.
Hey, Doris.
Lisa.
You finally made it today, Ricky Jr.
Roman Iglesias. Yeah.
You got what, Michelle? Melinda. Oh, Melinda Robin.
Melinda.
That's like your air traffic controller one over there.
Yeah.
Roman Iglesias. Thank you for tuning in the show. Hit the share button right over here. Boop. Notifications right over here. Boop. And subscribe button right over here. Boop. So let me see what else we got going on. Oh, the other day I pulled up in Stockholm, Miachael. There's your dad sipping coffee. It was early in the morning. I didn't know he went there every day.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I come out here every day. So he had me sit down and talk about the show. He said he was happy. He said he treated fairly, and it was all good. So, you know, like I said on the show, I think people should be celebrated twice a year. One for their birthday and a different day, a celebration of life while you're living. They should pick that date and have people that they close with because, like, you know, Tommy Lasorda from the Dodgers died the other day. God bless that man, a hell of a baseball man. And then, as we know, they're going to have all types of Tommy Lasorda stuff or whatever. But let's get it in while we still living. They still could do that, but that'll be a nice thing because sometimes you're running so heavy and busy that, you know, next thing you know, you blink it's 22 years because you're just in the zone or whatever. So, like I said, it's a privilege to live down here in the Keys. And due to contrary belief, you know, a lot of new people came in, but we still know exactly what's going around, what's happening around here. And we're going to continue to run the Conquer Republic the way we see fit. We welcome all people, but don't come out here trying to run us and tell us what we need to do down here because we don't go to Pittsburgh or
That's
wherever.
the truth.
You know what I'm saying?
We're
we're just trying to do it. This man paid a lot of dues in his field. I paid a lot of dues in my field. Everybody's paid dues out here, and they need to have respect on their name. Red Tater. There it is, Red Tater off the chain today. I've never been told out of there. The only problem I've had is oversleeping because the timer resets at 7 in the morning, wake up at 8 in a panic and pay online, then to run to the lot to make sure. This is funny. Red Tater's a character, boy. Sure, Ricky didn't get me. Red Tater, but Red Tater even know the hours. Red Tater all over the place, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what happened? You know how you met Red Tater?
No.
Red Tater decided he was going to pull up out of the blue sky in the middle of a podcast. So first, you see, you let me in the door today.
Yeah.
So somehow he got somebody from the outside to swipe a card to get him in. So then he just came through here, and all of a sudden he was in the middle of the podcast. So we said, well, can I help you? And he said, well, just go ahead and have a seat. And that's how we became best friends. But that man just came in, bro, rush. So, but good man. And his actual wife is associated with NASA up there, and you know, he came by and brought us some nice little souvenirs and stuff, which was very nice. And he's a person that comes in and out. This is a perfect example, guys. Not here year round, but respect locals. Look how much stuff he knows about what's going on locally. So how is that good old boy, Ricky Arnold Sr.? How you doing?
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah.
He's doing all right. We
You know,
had a little bit of a hectic day there, but
yeah,
we struggled through it.
yeah. So Ricky Jr. So you born and bred, like you said, 5 generation. What makes the Florida Keys, Key West, Stock Island special? What is special about this place? If you had to break it down.
If if I had to break it down, I left Key West for a couple years, and if I had to break it down, I think it's the closeness of everyone knowing everybody. There's a certain level of way that we treat people. I think Stock Island is kind of get what Key West used to have. Key West used to have that. And I think it's moved to Stock Island because so many people have come to Key West that when you're around people and you're going to see them all the time, even though you might get a little mad, you won't be as vile as you might be in a big city. Because you're going to see them in the stores.
You got to see them.
So there's a friendship and a camaraderie and a way that we deal with each other and look out for each other that I don't think you quite get anywhere else.
It's special.
And it is special. And understanding that. So that's kind of where I get frustrated when people come from other towns and want to change things instead of just leave us alone. Exactly. Come here. You come in here because of the atmosphere that we have put out as years of being here. Learn to live the way we live. And enjoy it.
Yeah. And we're glad to talk to you about anything, but don't bulldoze us.
Right.
We just trying to maintain what we got going on around here.
I think for right now, I think some of the biggest things is just Stock Island is going through such a growth spurt. The money is coming in so heavy that it's going to put a real effect on the working people being able to buy houses and stuff. They've gone to these crazy numbers where, $500,000 used to be an expensive house. Well, it's not no more.
Right. There's no affordable housing. Let's be clear.
It's not.
You could call it affordable, but nothing affordable about it.
And the county isn't trying to help nobody build a house on their property. You can't even paint your house without them coming after you.
Right.
Much less try and build a house.
And you said two things there that are critical. First of all, I tell people you want to see Old Key West, go to Stock Island because that still got the feel.
Right.
The Old Key West. What happens is you have a square footage, right? That square footage we take in and we overload it in Key West. You can't even fit nothing else here. So what happens, you don't have to go to Business 101. It's going to expand, further going up north. So then it comes to Stock Island. Stock Island was named number 4 in Time Magazine for back in the day for the one of the top places to invest in real estate, number 4. Not Key West. They didn't say Key West. It said Stock Island, Florida, number 4. So now it's all over with. I mean, there's still a couple of little things here. It's still much cheaper than Key West, but you get kind of that Key West feeling. Even when let's say we have Mocho out there, and we out there on the island, is just special, and you still have that feeling. Key West, not so much because it's more like a hustle and bustle, but we still, got our character. So that's exactly correct what you just said. I agree with that, 1,000,000%. And then as far as helping people with city or county government. I ain't gonna call no names. The other day said, do you want to call the city manager about this? Because you probably could move this on. I said, no, I do not. I said, because something was being held up. And it's not me, it's just the girl said she has the same experience with this particular person holding things up. I said, we have to go have a conversation, nice and easy, and see if you could get on the same page or whatever, because to me, these are paid by taxpayers for the city and county. And when you go over there to a department and you want to do something, your job is not to tell you how you cannot do anything that you can't. It's to tell you, listen, this way this is formatted. It cannot be done in this format. However, if you switch this stuff or whatever, we can work with you. And if you have a disrespect for them people that come in as taxpayers, they need to move you for a department where you might not have to deal with people, or B, just get rid of you because there's no need for that. I mean, they make it more difficult than it should be. Not everybody, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you had some of these experiences.
A lot of them. Do you know why Stock Island's called Stock Island?
I do not.
You ever thought about it? Stock Island.
That's what
I heard.
You're right.
Was that?
Oh, Mike Knowles has got it.
Ricky Jr., Ricky Sr. said that last because they kept cattle and everything out there.
Right. Okay. Yep. And like I said, we love Stock Island and we love the Conch Republic. I'm seeing, I don't know what you think, but I'm seeing that 2021, the drama and all the stuff that's been going on here, because it was a rough year for everybody, is starting to subside, and we still got to keep at it. But the main thing is you have to elect people that represent your voice. Long story short.
I think that these shutdowns and shit like that just needs to stop. If you're sick, wear a mask and stay away from other people. But if you ain't sick, you should just be able to walk around, and we shouldn't. My opinion is, I don't think we should be shutting down. If people are sick, they need to be responsible for other people. And yes, I know that some people might not know if they're sick, but that should be a gamble on you if you want to go out. Instead of shutting down the whole island and shutting down, it takes a lot to pay the bills. These restaurants and bars and every business out there is starving.
Absolutely.
We
And Ricky Jr. is being nice the way he's saying it, so it's real simple. Let's talk about the positive stuff, right? Let's say you feeling sick. We've been here since where we at, Mike? What podcast we on?
215.
250. We're gonna catch a year here soon, right? And we, when I say we, with Dr. Burroughs getting the word out there. If you feel sick, the best thing we can offer right now is the ivermectin protocol, right? We tell you get on that. That's the best. A lot of people have been doing very well with that. If you have any employees that don't feel well, you need not to push the issue. That you need them not to have them working because basically they get other people sick. And then if you don't want to deal with people at all, like I said it at the city commission meeting, you get one of them doors they have at the bank with the wheel, and you never come out of there. I guarantee you'll never have a problem. But who could afford to do that down here in Paradise? But curfews and stuff of this nature does not help what's happening. I'm glad we got the vaccine, but this is not going to stop tomorrow. But we're not hot in Monroe County. These are the facts. We have some cases. Some days we had, the other day I had 100 some cases. But what happens is those cases are a data dump, and sometimes they put three days behind. We're not Dade County, and we sure ain't Broward County. So like the other day we had 17 cases. So what we've done over here is we don't even talk about them. We just talk about positive stuff, how we move forward and how we move our businesses forward and try to take care of people that come down here to spend not hundreds, thousands of dollars that it takes to come down here.
Thousands.
Ricky, I think you got a couple people in there coming in, so make sure we got everybody because these people definitely want to make sure that they acknowledge it. And Mike Knowles, stand by. We'll go from there. Who you got on your side there, Ricky?
Marisol Ruiz. I got AJ Erica.
Got you. I see Shane Arnold there.
Yep. Yeah.
Big Shane on the wheels of steel.
Yep.
You got Lisa came in.
Coming back in again.
Yeah. Keith
Herndon.
Yeah. All love right now. Let me see. RJ for president. Big says RJ for president. All love right now. Yeah. And you actually was on a couple boards, you told me, right?
Yeah.
Which one were you on?
Truman Waterfront Board.
Okay.
And the Goombay Board for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And the Goombay, man, what a great place to, go down there and have some of the culture. A lot of people don't understand is you just don't show up to these festivals. They think it's, you're making millions of dollars. They don't understand the production that go behind this, the cost involved.
We actually went in the hole every year with Goombay.
Yeah.
And when I got on the board, my biggest goal was to bring it back to what it was when I was younger. And bring it back and get the people out there to make home food and come out there and sit up all local. I wanted before Fantasy Fest kicked off, I wanted something for the locals to be able to come down there and try some different foods, try some different, just everything different. If you had a local business, bring some of it, but don't overshadow the people that might just want to come out with the Girl Scouts and might have all cooked all their food at home,
right? And
bring that. And I really wanted to bring that feel back. And the last time we did Goombay, we wrote, by the time we were done, just to pay the bills for Goombay was just shy of $70,000. Just to pay the bills, we had to come out of pocket about $2,000 each.
Yeah, you got to remember, a lot of cities help with special events, which means the city actually pays for a lot of the services, and they want special events. Here, we don't have such a thing. We have to pay, when you're in Fantasy Fest, you got to pay for the police fire, which is good because those people get to work it overtime, but it costs a lot of money. And in business, either numbers work or they don't. A lot of this stuff, it's hard to maintain. We're lucky we still have a Goombay, I'll be honest with you. And like you say, if you don't help people, the city, then the people get fed up and they don't want it. You lose the good people that could actually run these festivals where they give them too much agitation.
Well, that's why I kind of give up with it. And, not to attack the TDC, but they give a false representation of what they do for, like, the events. Like, they said, your first year you have Goombay, we're going to allot you, I don't remember what the number is, I'm going to say 50 grand.
Right.
So we're thinking, they said, you won't get it the first year, you get it the second year.
Right.
So we're thinking, okay, year 2, we go to the TA, where's that money? Oh, well, we don't give you no money. Yeah. We give you 50 grand worth of advertisement.
Right.
Wow. Wait. I don't need advertisement because I don't want this shit out of past the 7 Mile Bridge.
The man is absolutely correct. So that comes with strings. Here's your $50,000. It must be spent this way or whatever, or they'll pay for that. It's not $50,000 that you could use 20 of it for entertainment. The paid cop, you can't use it like that.
No, they spend it how they want. You never see the money.
Right.
But what it makes it looks like when they say, oh, we give the Board of Goombay, like our last year, they give us $150,000. Well, they didn't give us shit.
Right.
But they advertised it. But like I said, I told them I didn't want the advertisement because I wanted this to be something that was just for home people. Right. Everybody down here south of the 7 Mile Bridge, or even if you want to say Key Largo. Right. I don't want people. The next week for me was for the people that come from up north. That's we got all Fantasy Fest week, all your parties. Right. I was trying to give that feel back to Key West. Say, let's have our own little party. Let's go hang out with friends. Let's get chairs. I started a little kids festival thing at the end of the road there.
Right.
I started putting tents and chairs so everybody could sit and eat and let the kids play. And that was actually a way we generated enough money to actually pay all the bills.
Absolutely.
And now it's just...
Well, we appreciate you going out there when you have, and that's another thing you got to... Boards don't work unless you have people on the same page. You obviously going to agree to disagree on certain things, but if they're not seeing the vision, it's hard because then there's a lot of infighting or whatever. So I try to be on boards that I know they're going to move forward, and then they don't get paid for this. This is like, you go out there, it's headaches. It's headaches and agitation. That's why people get fed up and they don't go there. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I can understand that because one year we had down there, we had a chance to try to operate that and everything else. That's a madhouse headache, and then that's not including that. Then you got to run into. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe we need to put Louie in that and keep running because the entertainment and everything along that. By the time you're done,
I'm used to doing events where they have to be profitable because that's how we eat. So so you have to have if I know the general about towing the car. They come in, they put the car up or whatever. I'm not an expert on towing, so if I have a towing question, I send them to the towing department, engineering. But you have to listen to people. It's like the boards in the city. People spend all that time. They do questionnaires. They tell you we recommend this. They don't take any of the recommendations. Why do people want to recommend stuff if you're not even going to listen to what they say? They might as well stay home and not have this agitation. So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. I'm really happy with Billy Wardlow up there because Billy he's not missing no words and he's not sugarcoating and he knows Conk Republic.
Uncle Billy, it's Uncle Billy right there.
No joke.
He's a fine man and politician, and I'm saying a lot when I call him a fine man and politician because I'm not big on politicians, but I like that Billy has always been a man of his word. If he tells you something, you don't worry when you stand in front of him,
right? Because
if you've told him the truth, when you get up there in front of him and he knows what you said was true, he's going to back you or he's going to say no. Whatever he told you before that, that's what he's going to do.
Absolutely.
With class.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, come from the Wardlow. I mean, it's a legendary family, Dennis Wardlow.
Yep.
So all
the head of the Conk Republic.
Listen, all y'all doing stuff, especially I go to teachers and coaches, especially anybody putting in time for kids, that's priceless. So we just got to keep at it and just do the best we can. It ain't gonna be perfect, but one thing we're not gonna tolerate. Any of y'all that are watching now, I'm gonna tell y'all blood raw. If you come out here with foolishness, we good. We'll say hi to you. We'll have dialogue with you, but don't come out here trying to change what we established down here because you just came down here, been here for 5-6 years, think you know everything about everything, because it's not going to happen, and we're just not going to let it happen. Because due to contrary beliefs, yes, some conks have left Key West, but a lot of them are still here. And we will not lose the foundation of what we was brought up on, which is the Conk Republic mentality.
That's
so, let me see who I got here. Shauna Taylor, just like the St. Patty's Day stroll. It was fun. Now there's abundance of restrictions. Lost its luster and appeal to participate. I remember that being the best local block party ever. Not anymore. Okay. Yeah, it happens. Mike Knowles, anybody else on your side before we get up out of here?
Yeah, Red Teddy said certain powers will use to control people.
Yeah.
And let me see, we got Mario Lot there.
Mario Parking Lot.
Bobby Bates, Celise Ann, Frank Lopez.
Big Frank, how you doing, sir?
JC Key West, and she says hi. Misty J. Arnold. We got Shauna Taylor. We got Claretta Nicole Garcia.
Nice.
Donnell Henderson and Kenny Wardlow on this one.
Kenny Wardlow. Let's see. They're going to talk about it. Wardlow's, Arnold's. I mean, this has got a lot of history. What I think we need to do, Ricky, is Bloodline, for some of y'all watching from Netflix, y'all did good, on your own. But it really wasn't on your own. You got a lot of help. But when we put some authentic here from the Keys and we have complete control, then you're going to see we're going to break all kinds of records on Netflix. So you got to think worldwide. Thank you, Florida Keys Indie Lawyers, Accent Lawyers in the Keys. Go to FloridaKeysIndie.com at 302 Southern Street. Locals taking care of locals. Advanced Urgent Care Key West Marathon in Key Largo. 2Ks, Keys Cares, $89. And get that ivermectin treatment protocol. Don't play around with that. If a doctor won't give it, make sure you go to Advanced Urgent Care. They'll take care of you. All love there. And I got Naughty Vapes, the #1 vape shop in America. Rebecca, how you feeling? Debbie, how you doing? Make sure you like them on Facebook under Naughty Vapes, Nauti Vapes. And they just got that huge inventory in, full to the ceiling. 10%, always taking care of people. It is all love. Right now, we go into what we like to do, entertain people. We rocking and rolling, Wild 927. Make sure you tune in. We rocking right now. iHeartRadio, you can listen worldwide. And you know freestyle music lives in the Keys. So shout out to Stevie B. Go right there and check it out. And you can listen to see what's going on. Miachael Knowles, Real Talk with Dr. B tomorrow. No joke. So any closing words out there for the people? How you think we're going to do this year, 2021?
Man, I hope it can't be worse than 2020. I hope not anyway.
Absolutely.
Shit, we on the bottom climbing up.
Yep, we back to basics. We'll get there. Doris, thank you again. Who's that? Janice, thank you for watching. Knows anybody out there before I get up?
That's it. No, Jacqueline Hagan.
Okay, Jacqueline, thank you. Wild 927, we live right now. Go right there and have a good evening. Don't start nothing out here in the concrete public. It ain't gonna be none. Ha!